Good evening and Merry Christmas. It's Sunday the 25th of December and it's time for the news on RIK 2. A Russian military plane carrying 92 people, including dozens of Red Army choir singers, dancers and orchestra members, crashed into the Black Sea on its way to Syria this morning, killing everyone on board. Terrorism has been ruled out. The Tu-153 Tupolev plane disappeared from radar screens just after 5 this morning Cyprus time, 2 minutes after taking off from Sochi in southern Russia, where it had stopped to refuel from Moscow on its way to Syria. An unnamed ministry source told Russian news agencies no life rafts had been found, while another source told the Interfax agency that the plane had not sent an SOS signal. The jet, built in 1983, had been carrying 84 passengers and 8 crew members. At least 60 were members of the Alexandrov Ensemble, better known internationally as the Red Army Choir, and were being flown out to Russia's Hmeimim air base in Syria to entertain troops in the run-up to New Year. 9 Russian reporters were also on board, as well as military servicemen. Also on board was Elizaveta Glinka, a member of Putin's advisory Human Rights Council. Fragments of the plane had been found at a depth of about 70 meters in the Black Sea, about 1.5 kilometers off the coast near Sochi. 6 ships from Russia's Black Sea fleet were involved in a search operation at the crash site, and more than 100 divers were being drafted in to search the area along with a mini-submarine. The plane had last been serviced in September and undergone more major repairs in December 2014. Russia's RIA news agency, citing a security source, said preliminary information indicated that the plane had crashed because of a technical malfunction or pilot error. Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov told reporters it was too early to say what had caused the crash, but a criminal investigation was opened. Putin, who declared a day of mourning tomorrow, was being kept constantly informed of the latest developments. The Kremlin said Putin expressed his deepest condolences to those who had lost loved ones in the crash and ordered Prime Minister Dmitry Medvedev to head a government investigatory commission. Several hundred Iraqi Christians yesterday flocked to a northern town recently retaken from Islamic State, celebrating Christmas for the first time since 2013, their joy tainted with sadness over the desecration of their church. Once home to thousands of Assyrian Christians, Bartella emptied in August 2014 when it fell to Islamic State's blitz across large parts of Iraq and neighboring Syria. Iraqi forces took it back in the first few days of the US-backed offensive that started in October. Women holding candles ululated as they went into the town's Mar Shimoni church, expressing their joy at returning to the place where many of them said they had been baptized. A new cross had been affixed on top of the chapel, while a decorated plastic Christmas tree now stands near the massive gate. Soldiers stood guard nearby and others were posted on rooftops. In Bethlehem, thousands of pilgrims and tourists from around the world, together with local Christians, gathered in the biblical town in the occupied Palestinian territory of West Bank to celebrate Christmas in the traditional birthplace of Jesus. Security was tight in Bethlehem over recent deadly attacks on Christian targets in neighboring Egypt and Jordan by armed fighters. Christmas festivities have brought a boost of holiday cheer to Christmas in the Holy Land, who make up just a small percentage of the population. The region has experienced a wave of Israeli-Palestinian bloodshed that erupted over a year ago. The violence has tapered off in recent months, but has not halted completely. Pope Francis today offered a Christmas hope for peace in a world lacerated by war and terrorism, urging people to remember migrants, refugees, and those hit by economic instability caused by idolatry of money. Francis, marking the 4th Christmas season since his election in 2013, also urged Palestinians and Israelis facing renewed tension after a UN resolution condemning Israeli settlements on occupied land to have the courage to put aside hate and revenge and write a new page of history. His traditional Urbi et Orbi message was linked by a common thread of war, violence and suffering at a time that should be defined by harmony and peace, symbolized by the infant Jesus. He spoke before a crowd of 40,000 faithful gathered in St. Peter's Square. Security was heightened for the Christmas weekend in Italy and at the Vatican after Italian police killed the man believed to be responsible for the Berlin market truck attack, while other European cities kept forces on high alert. Today, this message of peace goes out to the ends of the earth to reach all peoples, especially those scarred by war and harsh conflicts that seem stronger than the yearning for peace, he said, speaking in Italian from the central balcony of St. Peter's Basilica. He called for peace in Syria, urging immediate assistance to the exhausted population of the city of Aleppo, which Syrian government forces recaptured last week after 4 years of devastating fighting with rebels. Francis, the first Latin American pope, also said Christmas should inspire everyone to help the less fortunate, including migrants, refugees, and those swept up by social and economic upheavals. Security and guarantees will be the only Cyprus talks chapter on the negotiating table during the January 12th Geneva conference, said President Anastasiades in an interview with Kathimerini today. The president made clear that the conference will be multilateral and not five-party and of an open-ended nature. If it does not lead to a conclusion, he noted, it will certainly not be the end of the road. He further stressed the European Union position that a member state cannot depend on third country guarantees. President Anastasiades assured that the withdrawal of Turkish troops will be part of the solution and noted the Greek Cypriot side's firm stance against the Turkish Cypriot position to adopt an alternate presidency. He advised that negotiating with public remarks does not facilitate the process during this critical juncture. The president rejected criticism of a rift with Athens, referring to really close cooperation with Greek Prime Minister Alexis Tsipras and Foreign Minister Nikos Kotschas, who have been very firm on the rejection of third-party guarantees. He also said that the discovery of natural gas is a major motive for Turkey in contributing and supporting a solution of the Cyprus issue. It's imperative to defend Cyprus, said Archbishop Chrysostomos in his Christmas message to the Orthodox faithful, noting that following the recent deadlock in Cyprus settlement talks, the government has not reversed its course, but it's been dragged into dangerous developments, blindly following tight deadlines and plans drawn up by the occupation leader. The head of the Church of Cyprus said that for the 43rd year running, Greek Cypriots cannot be left to rejoice in the spiritual joy of Christmas as they are being brought down to earth by the continued occupation, the lack of interest by great powers, and the uncertainty of what the future holds. The Archbishop stressed that Turkey will not be in a position to legalize occupation as long as the Republic of Cyprus continues to exist, adding that the new federal state will have no protection as it will need the approval of the Turkish Cypriot state, which it will not get, in order to appeal to the UN or the EU. This kind of solution, he noted, can never be signed. Now a look at the weather. Overcast skies will bring local showers and isolated storms tomorrow, with snowfalls on the mountains mostly in the afternoon. Winds will initially be light to moderate southwesterly to northwesterly, force 3 to 4, later turning moderate to strong, force 4 to 5 over slight seas. Temperatures will rise to 15 Celsius inland, 16 in coastal regions, and 4 over the mountains. The depth of snow on Mount Olympus is 60 centimetres, with half a metre in Troodos Square. That's all from us here. Join us tomorrow for more news in English. Have a Merry Christmas and good night.